Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. It is I, John, and my great buddy and companion, Muscles over here, Chili Dog Mike. Chili Dogs will put it on you, I'm telling you.
Hey, man, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, Chili Dog likes to hide what we're doing for some reason. Chili Dog, there's nothing on the table.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why there's nothing on the table.
Well, it better be
because I want to show you exactly what we're bringing to the table.
All right, well, that's pretty cool.
All right, let's see what we're bringing to the table today.
To the table. Ooh.
Wow. Check this out. You guys have probably seen it before, but have you tasted it before? I don't know. Let's
Well, let's see what we got here there, mister. Evan Williams. Oh, Heaven Hill. I'm sorry, I said Evan Williams. It is Evan Williams.
we'll go ahead and get these out
Mike,
because
you want to do this? Because I'll
tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and you guys know what we're about to do, so we're going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I've been...
Look, what are we doing? Obviously, we're drinking, so here we are. We're just going to do it, and all we're going to do is we're going to do it in front of you, so you can have a drink and hang out with us.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
So, but what we're doing today is we're going to be doing Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. Now, this is 100 proof, obviously, as all bottled and bonds are. Now, we've had a lot of requests for this. I had it ages ago. Haven't had it in a long time. I probably haven't had this since I've actually been into bourbon. I'm super excited about it. There's a lot of things that I'm excited about. But you've probably seen it before, but maybe you haven't picked it up. Maybe the price has deterred you. Maybe you're not a Heaven Hill fan. We're going to see what we can get into today. But we've got, I can tell you right now, from what I can remember, this is some good stuff.
You said Heaven Hill.
It is Heaven Hill.
Oh, it is.
Evan Williams. So that is under the Heaven Hill blanket. Now, Evan Williams does have a couple of things going on. They've got the standard black label. They've got their single barrel. And, of course, they've got their white label, the Bottled and Bond.
Now, Bottled and Bond has some serious rules to Bottled and Bond.
You go ahead and lay it on them. I'm going to lay it on you.
Well, the Bottled and Bond Act was actually put into effect in 1897. It's just real quick. There's a lot of things that have to make something bourbon. I won't go through it, but on top of the rules that make bourbon, Bottled and Bond, it has to be 100 proof. It has to be put into glass containers. Cannot be put into plastic or anything else when it's bottled. It has to be aged at least 4 years. It has to be aged in government-approved, certified, and inspected warehouses on top of the 1964 Native American Spirits Act, which made bourbon, which already made bourbon one of the most regulated whiskeys in the world. Now you have Bottled and Bond, even more regulated. And how much, with all these regulations, is this bottle of Evan Williams right here? How much?
I'll tell you what.
100 proof.
We picked it up. This right here, this bad boy, we picked it up today for $15.99.
That's silly.
And that, folks, is right here in the state of Kentucky. Now, I think you can find it outside of the state of Kentucky, but I've seen it outside of the state going anywhere from $20 up. But right here in Louisville specifically, I found it for $15.99. That seems to be the norm, what it should go as. And I tell you what, hopefully it is worth it.
We are the epicenter of bourbon. 95% of the bourbon in the world, which can only be made in the U.S., but I'll say the world anyway, is made right here in Kentucky, and there's a damn good reason for it. And I have a video on that, so I won't bore you with it. What does this say here?
That says since 1783.
And what does this say?
DSP KY1.
1.
Tell them what it is, buddy.
Number 1. Right? They were the first distillery, bourbon distillery. That's huge.
That's huge.
That's huge.
That's
in
huge.
a state with
but
that rules the world. Rules the world.
It doesn't surprise me though. Heaven Hill has really been since the dawn of time. Evan Williams has kind of been on top of everything. You know, they kind of run the business. You know, essentially.
But that's you know what? That's kind of mahogany looking.
It's darker. I tell you what, right off the bat, it is darker than a lot of 15 to 20.
There's a light over there. I'm looking at. It's got a kind of a red. I'm gonna call that mahogany.
Mahogany. You heard it here first. Evan Williams is mahogany.
You know what?
It's got a pleasant.
We didn't look up. I'm wondering what the mash bill is, but that's okay.
We're gonna leave that for you guys. Why don't you look it up? What's the mash bill? You tell me in the comments below.
Yeah.
What is the mash bill? We're here to taste it. You read it for us.
We're here to taste it.
That's true. Got a peanut gallery.
We got an audience because we are just so
hold the applause to the end.
Fantastic. When we get together, everybody else does too. That's how it works.
So weak.
Accidentally tasted it. I want to smell it. I tasted it. We're going to do our classic way we taste it. So the smells great. What do you smell? I smell some really nice.
I tell you right off the bat, I got some caramel. Some caramel for sure. Which might allude to the darker, color of it. Which is, it really is. I mean, even the bottle itself, it really is a very nice color for something that is as cheap as it is. I don't mean cheap. I mean, is
inexpensive.
It's inexpensive.
And I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I like the caramel with the. It's like a caramel apple. I'm getting out of it.
Yeah,
honey.
I mean, there's a couple different things that are firing. And
I like this glass. It's got a nice
sweet,
wide.
for sure. Yeah.
Well, you're always going to get the, some kind of a sweet.
I mean, bourbon naturally is sweet, but I mean,
it is.
With the color you've got going on, plus the profile.
It does have a nice smell. Now, when you smell, a lot of times, I'll give you another tip, everybody. When you smell, always part your lips just a little bit. It lets the alcohol kind of go out without burning your nose, all right? You heard it here. So I just slightly part my lips. I'm not like, it's like an idiot, all right? Slightly part it. Michael guy. You get lockjaw.
Nah. Hey, that's why I'm here. I got to learn from this guy. This whole time, I've just been doing that right there. That's what I've been doing. Just
very good. Very good. You get the vanilla, you get the wood, you get just a beautiful, pleasant bourbon.
No, you're right on the wood for sure. Vanilla,
at least
like I said, a little caramel, but you got the vanilla in there.
Caramel apple, yeah. It's honey. Everybody's going to get sweet, whether they say maple. Now, you got to remember, now, the white oak is putting out sap. Maple syrup comes from the sap. Yes, it's a different tree, but they use white oak for a reason. It still has sap. It still has a sweetness to it. For example, red oak would be very bitter. That's why nobody uses it. So if you say you taste maple sugar, same family. Maple syrup. It's in there. It's the sap of the beautiful white oak.
I'm sorry with you. I'm gonna go ahead and get in on that.
Yeah, let's get in on it. I know.
I'll tell you what.
Right, let's do our usual
It's like a
thing.
chicken leg.
It's over for 10 seconds. Let's numb our pain receptors, and then on the next sips, we'll be ready for the
It
flavor.
works, guys. I've done it 100 times now.
So remember, 10 seconds. Swish it around. Don't swallow it. Feel the pain. Feel the burn. The rest of it's pure flavor. I promise you. It's funny, but I'll tell you what, I love when I get that burn because now I know I numb my pain receptors, and now I don't even think about the flavor right now.
Oh, that's the one. That's a burn right there, baby.
That's right. It does have a nice burn, but that's right. We're acclimating ourselves. We're getting those pain receptors done. Now the taste buds are wide open, wide open. All right. Oh, it works. It really works.
Yeah,
and I don't even like to judge it until at least the third sip. I'm funny
That's what she
now
said.
it's going to boom, boom. See?
Sorry, this is bottled and bond, so that comes with certain.
Sure.
You understand.
True.
I'm going on my
Look at
second.
them. Look at them. They're clicking off by the hundreds.
Pow, 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 pow. What's that? 10,000 likes? Jeez. Man, ain't even uploaded
Keep
yet.
typing. Keep typing.
We love it. Good or bad, we love it. Give it to us.
Now I'm getting the flavor. You know who suggested that I try this and said they really liked it? Drinks well above its pay grade. I think he's right.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go get a cube. How you feel about that?
Yeah, go get a couple cubes. And before he does that, I'm gonna tell you what I taste. So I am tasting. I like the wood. Of course, I love white oak, and I'm so accustomed to it. Of course, I've been where they make the barrels to the cooperages, so the smell, the fresh cut of that wood, when they char it, when they toast it. I've been there a bunch of times, involved in the industry. I've got to go as a quote-unquote citizen. I got to go as part of the industry. So the wood is very something I can really pick out. And the taste kind of complements the nose on this, to where what you said, the caramel, the maple from the sap of that oak, as they char it and it comes out and it gets seared and it gets caramelized. That's why I get a lot of that caramel.
Now what I just did is I dropped a cube, literally just a single cube. Now you guys can do whatever you want. There's no wrong way to do it, but I just dropped a cube, one cube in each one of our little glasses here. And that's just kind of opening it up, kind of little different notes going on. It's definitely going to be a different taste too, because a lot of times you're going to try this stuff on the rocks or even the cocktail. So just kind of we're kind of tasting it on all cylinders, if you will.
I'll give you a little tip again. Every bourbon I get, almost always, I try it straight, always, no matter what the proof, no matter anything. I put a little water in it, and then I try it with an ice cube, even if I love it straight, because I want to see what it does, how it holds up. I want to compare it to all my other bourbons I've tasted. I want to see how it expands, how it opens up, how it changes, and there's a lot I'm learning from it. I may want it straight, but I'm always going to put the water, I'm always going to put a cube, and the last thing I'll give you, if you put a cube in it, and a lot of people do this, especially in the summer, cools it down, right? Makes it nice in the summer. But here's a tip for you. Put an ice cube in it. When you hit your sweet spot, take it out. And now you're perfect, okay? Don't leave it in there because you don't want to make iced tea, right? You don't want to make Kentucky iced tea. So when you hit your sweet spot, take the ice cube out, and now you're at your spot where you think. So you're tasting it, the ice cube's melting, it's expanding the whiskey. Oh man, now it's tasting good, ice cube out. And you've hit it. You don't have to worry about putting the right amount of water. And if it's a little cold, it'll develop in the glass for you.
And I tell you what, I want to add 100%. That's great. And I want to add to that a little bit. Let me just say, everything that we've tasted, even if it's been off camera, everything that we've tasted, good or bad, we've added a cube to. It's not that we only add a cube to the stuff that we like, or we only add a cube to the stuff that we don't like. It has nothing to do with that. We do it across the board because even the worst, I'm not going to mention any names, but even the worst whiskeys that I've had in the past, the flavor profile still changed with a cube. Whether it's for the better or whether it's for the worse, that's why we're doing it. But even the worst whiskey that I've ever had still has a flavor transformation. It always, always, always will do something to it.
I like the sweetness that comes out of the cube.
I like it so much that the only thing left is my cube. So, yeah.
Getting a little more wood taste. I'm getting a little more sweetness. Now, would you, again, a strong, solid 100 proof bourbon with a nice bite. Again, something that's going to hold up for mixing. And you're not killing your buddies because we're talking about $15.99.
We're talking about $15.99. Look, here's the thing. I love it when my friends come over. I love it when they come and hang out. I love it when you come and hang out. We have a good time. A lot of times I'll have 5 people over, 20 people over. It doesn't matter. I always love it when I can go to the store and buy a bourbon that will both substitute for rocks and or cocktails and neat, because I don't have to spend the extra money, and you don't have to. With something like this, it's giving you the choice. You don't have to spend the money. You don't have to get a $20 bourbon and then another $50 bourbon. You can literally just get this bourbon, and it's going to please your bourbon entrepreneur friends who are only liking it neat, and it's going to please your other friends who you like to have it on cocktails. It's going to do the job for both. This does that. I can definitely attest to that just right off the bat.
Well, now, if you do, we usually do 1 to 10. Sometimes we do a scale. Sometimes we rate them that way.
100%.
Now, generally, I'll never go below a 60 because below a 50 basically is an F. When you're below a 60, I look at it like that. So a 60, a 6 would be a 60. 7 is a 70, which is a C. 80, 90, 100. But we know that. So, there's a lot that goes into it. Flavor. Then you talk about price, and you're putting it all together, this, that, and the other. Now, we do a lot of blinds here. And they're fun, they're interesting, and we're going to keep doing it. And we can't be wrong. I don't care if a $4 bourbon beats a $1,000 bourbon. I didn't make either of them. I'm going to tell you what I think about it. But I know what this is, and I know the price. So, knowing what it is and knowing the taste, the price is just, you're talking about $15.99. So the price is basically $100. So we're starting at $100 with the price. Will the flavor ruin the
I'm going to add on to what you're saying. I'm going to 100% add on and agree. So everybody has their own situation in which they're in. My situation, I have to take into account how much these bourbons cost. Because for me, as a consumer, because just like you alluded to, we don't make the bourbons. No. I specifically go out and I buy them. Or you buy them, or we buy them together. But either way, we go out and we spend money on these things. So I've got to take that into account. Mm-hmm. So right off the bat, that's obviously going to be one of the things that I judge it on. And I'm always going to do that on this channel. Is I'm always going to, partially my point rating is going to have to do with the price of it. And so far, the price of it is we're looking at 100%. Price wise.
Well, 100 obviously is an A plus. The price is 100. $15.99 is 100.
Can't be. You can't beat it.
So 100. Now you got to do the flavor. Boom. I'm talking. Man, and I hate that. But I don't hate anything. What do I worry about if I do it high? I do it high. I do it low. I'm doing 90. I'm doing 90. 90 is an A. Giving this an A. It's not 100. It's not a 95. It's not a 90. It's a 90. It's not an 80 to me.
So,
but it could be an 80 though, and 100 equals 90. But the flavor is just good. It's solid. You start with 100 on price.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go with an 8. I'm gonna go with 80, and I'll tell you why real quick. That's justifiable why. The price point on it is 100%. We just discussed that. The flavor on it is great. The flavor on it's great. The profile. I enjoyed everything about this. The reason why I'm giving it an 80, the reason why I'm giving it an 8, is because I have had. I'm not going to mention any names. I have had a few things. Very few. But I have had one or two other things that are at the same price point that are, taste-wise just as good, if not a little better.
We're going to do a blind. I know what you're talking about.
There it is.
So
but
that'll
still,
be
very, very strong.
But
very
knowing
strong
what I know, and knowing the price, and obviously I've just tasted it, and I'm going to give it a solid 9. I'm going
I'm going to stay at a solid 8, which is a collective positive
8.5, 8.5, 85. So, from Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed, and Chili Dog Mike, we will see you all on the next one.